Stupid question.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Mike Holloway, winner of Survivor Worlds Apart, and you're about to listen to a podcast with two best friends that love to talk about the game that we all love, Survivor. So sit back, grab a Dr. Pepper, because I'm 155,000% sure you're about to love to listen to Dwayne and Dave. Take it away, guys.
Hello, everybody. This is Dwayne.
And this is David. Are we getting anything back from Dr. Pepper? I just realized that he's talking about Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, really. This is Survivor Talk with D&D, my friends. Tonight we're talking about episode 12. Why? Because it was on. And we have nothing better to do.
That's right.
That's right. Where the heck are my notes? There they are. We have, and he also says 100, and doesn't he say 155,000% sure that we're going to enjoy the show?
Does he?
Right.
That's what Joe said at Ponderosa.
And Joe said it at Ponderosa. Thank you, David, for stealing my thunder. Sure. All right. Anyway, tonight we're going to recap episode 12.
Just doing it to you before you're doing it to me,
Yeah.
which is the theme of the rest of the season.
That's right. Many are watching on our website. I say many. Actually, a pretty good number. We have a website, stwdd.com, or just look up Survivor Talk, because it's also Survivor Talk with dnd.com. And if you do /live or just go to our website and hit the watch live button, there's a video on the left that's showing us live and a chat box on the right. How cool is that? Don't even ask me how long it took me to figure this out. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so that's how you get your thoughts on the air. Get on the chat and join us there. I think also if you post on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll probably see it on YouTube. So there you go. All right, David.
You know what else our chat room is good for? Helping us check our volume.
Oh, why? What did they say?
Apparently mine's too low, so I'm doing it now.
You're adjusting your volume?
Yeah, I just did, so hopefully it's better.
Pump up the volume. Yeah, yours is really low. Just a second. I can adjust that, David.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I can adjust David's volume.
We've got people watching at 2:20 a.m., 4 a.m., and 7. Wait a minute, how can it be 2:20 a.m. if it's 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. everywhere else? What? Australia 20 minutes ahead of all the other hours?
Actually, there are some time zones that are 30 minutes off.
Oh.
I don't know where they are.
Well, Rian is watching in Australia, and it's 2:20 in Sydney. Mike?
Sydney, Mike. Hello, I'm from Australia. Mate, welcome to the show. By the way, Rian, I think it's Rian did an Amazon commercial for us, but I haven't been able to put it together yet. So Rian, you will hear Will's again, but I'll use yours next week. It is Christmas season, my friends. Please go shop Amazon. And if you're already shopping Amazon, just take the extra click. Come on. Put a shortcut on your desktop, stwdd.com/live. That's all I'm going to say about it. Let's get to the recap.
Okay.
Let's get to the recap. Where are my notes on the show? There they are. Initial thoughts. David, you got any?
Oh, actually I do. But I emailed them to myself, and I didn't pull that email up.
Well, that's really smart. My initial thought is Abby's mom is fun. You know?
Why do you say that?
Well, everyone else is on the bench going, way to go. Yeah, you're awesome. She goes, focus. Focus. Abby Maria, you must focus. Focus.
That's what you said. Focus. That's right.
You must focus. By the way, I'm a little pumped up because I'm drinking probably my third energy drink, but it's a healthy one. It's a V8.
While you're guzzling that, one of my initial thoughts is that the loved ones segment of the season once again reinforced the fact that it's one of my top 5 favorite moments of any season that has the loved one moments.
Yeah, I like this loved one moments.
Sal, who do you picture if you're in the game? Who do you picture coming to see you?
Oh, my wife. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, man. And we're going to run behind the bushes. Probst will be like, get back over here. Come make us.
I'm just showing her my spy shack.
Oh, David. I'm showing her my idol. My hidden immunity idol. All right.
That's better.
Yeah.
See, I always imagine that's the season that they bring 2 loved ones out, because my daughters are fighting over who would come out and be my loved one. So, because it wouldn't be Terry, because she's not going to compete. She might change her mind if it ever happened, but Gracie and Bailey are the ones that want to come out.
Right. Oh, I wish I could tell you what just happened. But anyway, all right. I don't have any other initial thoughts. Do you?
My other one, most of mine will be said in the recap, but I like this episode a lot because I thought it was an end-game shaping episode. I really feel like the rest of the game is starting to shape up, and it's going to get just incredible.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you going to be distracted all night, or are you just going?
Well, I hope not. I had my auto dictation on my computer, and it was putting everything I said in the chat room, but I stopped it before it did.
Thank you.
All right, previously on. Okay, fine. You want to get on to me? Get on to me. Last week I gave Kelly credit for her and Spencer's move. Well, if you're going to get on to me, then get on to Jeff Probst, because he gave Spencer all the credit for Spencer and Kelly's move.
Okay. I'm with you.
All right. I don't think Kelly's getting a winning edit anymore.
Oh, wow. I just, I mean, it's skipping to the end, but as good as she did in the episode, she also got the facial expressions, the smirks, the funny faces, and that's not usually what we see holding the trophy.
She didn't get any of and even in the previously on, them saying Spencer planned it and they didn't give her any cred.
Mm-hmm.
I think she still might make the final 3, but I don't think she's going to win.
Yeah, we've been asked that question, so we're going to have to answer that a little bit. Rihanna wants to know who our final 3 picks are.
All right. And then my last initial thought is, if you want to date Abby, if you are a brave man and want to date Abby, you better not have long hair. That's all I'm saying.
She doesn't date clowns.
She does not date clowns. All right, day 30. What's with CBS giving them coffee in the morning?
Just a stroll down the beach.
This is the second episode in a row I've seen them with an actual coffee maker making coffee on the island. This isn't Survivor. This is Paradise Island.
Well, apparently we didn't hear the whole story about getting their shelter rebuilt, because they got coffee, they got cookies, they got mugs with their names on them, so.
Yeah.
Of course, Sierra and Fishback and Joe got the paper cups because they knew they were going to be there.
Yeah. Like they got pastries under. I mean, they got this shelter and it's got a little refrigerator underneath and coffee bar and little pastries every morning or something. I mean, it's just, come on. Hold on the next time on Survivor, what are Jeremy and Spencer doing the next morning? Walking along the beach, drinking coffee.
You don't think that's the same scene? It looks like the exact same scene.
It's not the same scene.
They're in the same clothes, carrying the same coffee mugs. You don't think?
Well, of course they're in the same clothes.
Walking down the same section of beach. I don't know. It just looked like the same scene to me.
Well, it said next time on, so. And they were talking about.
Yeah, because the edit's never out of order. No, it's always right in line.
No.
I love the scene because, and I'm going to actually talk about the show, the game now, since you've covered the coffee.
Shut up.
I love this scene because it's 2 guys that really wish the other one wasn't there.
Yeah,
but they got to make up and act like they're going to get along. Yeah. And both of them are carrying a knife behind their back and just waiting for the other one to turn around. And neither one will. But, I even wrote down, Spencer said it was, just Steven, it was just a move that had to go. It wasn't against you guys. It was just against him. And Jeremy's like, so you think that's good for numbers? But it's almost like the mess is rising up above chin level. They're just feeding each other stuff that they think they want to say, but they're both smart. They both know that both of them are just feeding them a line. This is like the required makeup chat with coffee on the beach, because to me, it means nothing, because neither one of them trust each other and neither one of them wants to go through the end with each other. So, although I think Jeremy at this point has a good shot against almost anybody. I'm not sure if there's anybody that could beat him in the final with the plan, but Spencer does not want Jeremy in the final.
But Jeremy's in a position of weakness this morning when they're walking along talking over coffee, because he was blindsided.
Yes.
And as it stands right now, Spencer's in the majority. So Jeremy's got the job of trying to, you notice he wasn't getting on to Spencer. It was more like, so, okay, I understand what you did, even though I'm really mad about it. But, let's do something.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy's trying to play Spencer, and
right, Jeremy's trying to make him feel like it's okay.
Right.
I understand it's a game. It's all a game. And Spencer's like, or Jeremy's like, well, we can still work together. And Spencer's like, yeah, it wasn't anything on you. It's just, I was like, okay, why don't you turn around so I can do something with this knife?
Yeah.
It's going to travel right now.
Yeah. Let's answer the question on the chat. Why don't you read it?
About Joe or the one before that?
Whichever one you want to read.
Oh. Let's see. We got a question way up here. That's the first question is the final 3 question. Let's do that at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, then go ahead and read the next one then.
Is it about Joe? Is it better?
Yeah.
Is it better for Joe to be voted out versus medevac? That way he can say they couldn't get me out and would be eligible for a medevac returnee season part 2. Ha ha. That's reality.
No. I don't think you want to have a medevac return season.
I don't. Well, we already had one.
We had a medevac return season.
The Philippines was a medevac return season.
Everybody that played was
medevac. It was the 3 returnees were medevaced.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not the encyclopedia. So
I understand your question, but I think Joe's coming back if we have another heroes and villains season.
Yeah, he'll come back as a hero.
Probst was just drooling all over the guy. My goodness. I mean, and he's very likable, so you can't help but like him, but still.
Right.
But the problem is his game is so telegraphed. I don't know what he can change.
Yeah. So, all right. Then we get Kimmy and Kelly talking. And this is part of the reason why this is part of the edit that kind of made me go, oh no, Kelly's not going to win. I don't think. Because it was like Kelly was, ooh, yeah, all girls alliance. I'm liking this. And I was just like, oh no, I don't know why. It just
you think it's because it wasn't her idea, or she didn't plan it, or
it was more like she wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't feel right to me.
I think this was well edited for Kimmy because she had a confession that said, I'm tired of being blindsided. It's time to take over my game. And my first thought was, I would love to be a fly on the wall wherever Monica is watching this episode.
Right.
Because this was Monica's thought at the same thing. Let's think about a girls' alliance down the future.
Yeah. Monica's slapping the TV right now. At this point, she's like, what? You voted me out for saying that.
That's the first thing I thought. I had to go back and watch it twice to hear Kelly's reaction. And then Kimmy's like, yeah, just thought just came to my head out of random.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Right.
But I like it. I like the idea because this is where the end game is starting to take shape. And I love the plan because these alliances never stick together. This is a late game alliance. And how often do these work?
Right.
It's a big move, but she's talking about a full alliance, not just a blind side. She's talking about a full alliance. They just don't always work.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, the women never get together and do an all women's alliance. I mean, it could actually work this season if they wanted to.
It did
but they won't.
I don't think they will because not all 4, because there's 4. If there were 3, it might work because if 3 go to the end, all 3 go. But because there's 4, somebody's going to figure out their number 4.
Well, and also I think Tasha's connected to Spencer and Jeremy at the hip. So,
So that's my thought on this. I talked about earlier. Well, my first thought was, wait, go ahead.
You've been teasing this to me all day long.
Well, my first thought was way out in left field. And after watching it a second time, I think my first thought's kind of nutso. But anyway, when the edit showed us Kimmy telling Kelly and then Kimmy telling Tasha, I think Kimmy told Tasha first. I think they wanted it to look like a Kimmy plan. So they went to Kimmy, but I think it came from Kimmy and Tasha because it makes sense. It's a good way to trap Spencer, to trap Keith, and maybe to trap Kelly Wentworth. It's a good way to blindside them to take them out of the game. But at the same time, I almost wondered out of fantasy Survivor fan fiction left field. I said, what if this was actually Jeremy's idea?
What?
I know. That's why I thought it was crazy. Because when Tasha tells Spencer and Jeremy this later, she doesn't tell Jeremy first. And you know that her and Jeremy are tighter than her and Spencer. I think, even though there's the Kageon link, but still, I think her and Jeremy are tighter. Tasha and Jeremy. And I would imagine that she would tell Jeremy first. And then they tell Spencer, or he says, okay, let's go. You tell me and Spencer together. So it doesn't like it came from me. But I don't necessarily think that's the plan anymore. Go ahead and shoot it down.
Well, she had a confessional where she said, I decided to tell Jeremy and Spencer.
Right. See, I forgot about that the first time. However, but what plays into this is I think Jeremy loves this idea because he can use Tasha to keep him out of the radar. And once he is targeted, he plays his idol and they take out one of the women. They can take out Kimmy. They can take out Wentworth. So, yeah, but that way they can use the Girls Alliance to take out Spencer because he doesn't, I think he can take Spencer to the end and beat him. But the problem with taking Spencer to the end is like keeping Joe in the game. You give Spencer too many chances, he's going to flip on you and he's going to take you out of the game.
Okay.
So you got to get rid of Spencer.
So you're saying that Jeremy's one-on-one with Spencer, where he's really concerned about this all women's alliance, was him playing Spencer, that he's really actually all for it.
I think it plays more to his favor than against it because I don't think Tasha's all in on the women's alliance.
That's
I think
not what I'm asking you. Don't answer.
Yes, if you watch Jeremy's conversations with people, he is the most laid back, soft-spoken guy. Nothing seems to get him raveled. He gets nervous. He acts like he's nervous. But even towards the end before tribal, when Spencer's in the hammock and Jeremy's behind him saying, "So what do you think about this girl thing, all girl thing? You think that's really going to be a problem, or they're really going to go?" And Spencer's like, "Well, if we vote Joe out, I feel nervous. If we keep Joe, I feel nervous." And Jeremy's just back there nodding his head. And I think Jeremy's looking at the numbers saying, you know what? I got an idol. So if Tasha tells me the truth, as soon as I find out that my name's coming up, I play my idol and we take out one of them. But until then, we get rid of Keith, who Sierra says would be the challenge beast if Joe wasn't there. And then we get rid of Spencer. And then Kimmy, and if Kimmy and Tasha come back, they can get rid of Abby and Kelly. Otherwise, they blindside one of the other girls with Jeremy's idol. Because that's the final five, and that's as far as he should be able to play it.
Okay, so you, for the record, believe that Jeremy is not only for the all-women alliance, but it was his idea.
No, the idea part went away after I watched the second time.
Okay, but you think that he's all for it. He's not worried about it.
I think he's okay with it, not worried about it, because it could actually work in his favor. He needs Spencer gone because you can't trust Spencer. Not that he can't beat him, but he needs people going to the end that won't make moves against him that he can't foresee.
Okay. I think that what we saw was true and that that the all women's alliance did make him nervous. So that's what I think. So we disagree on that, but that's okay. Reward challenge. You want to get there?
Sure.
/ family visit. One of the first family visits I've thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Saturday Night Live skit that I posted on our Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
The Kissing Family at Thanksgiving. Yeah, you need to go watch it. It's quite funny.
I saw you post it. I haven't watched it yet.
It's really, really, really funny. But anyway, so Jeremy, his wife, Val, is on the island. And did you see his extra scene?
No.
He was expecting her to be more pregnant looking when she came out. And so the first thing he asked her was, "What's wrong? How's the baby?" And her response was, "The baby's fine," or "He's fine. Everything's okay. He's fine." So, and then of course, he didn't want to tell everybody it's a boy. So, and Tasha brought her cousin out, which struck me as a little odd at first.
Yeah.
But apparently they're like brother and sister. So that's
sister and sister.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. Spencer brought his girlfriend out, which of course explained why they showed the whole "I never could tell her I love her," because in this episode he made up for all that time.
Oh yeah.
How many times did he tell her "I love you"?
I think 3 without closing his mouth.
Yeah.
With one breath.
Yeah. He's either going to regret that when he gets home. Of course, he's already gotten home, or he's going to be thrilled that he said that. But I guess we'll find out. Maybe I don't know. Have you seen anything on Twitter or anything? Are they still together?
What's Twitter?
Oh, that's right. She's a cutie pie, though. Boy, she kept saying, I love you. I love you. Oh, I love you. I love you.
Oh, finally, now that he said it.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. No, he said she said it before. Yeah. Anyway, Abby's mom came out. Keith's wife, Big D. Now, this is where I want to stop and evaluate something, David.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about your wife, but if I called my wife Big C, she wouldn't be hugging me out on the island.
There's got to be some reason behind the big. Like, because if I was called Big Dave, well, I mean, like Big Mike. Big Mike's not going to be Big Mike after a while.
That's right.
So, but they're still going to call him Big Mike because he's Big Mike. So maybe
he said
D used to be
Big Mike told me he didn't want to be called Big Mike anymore.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what he told me. He said, hopefully next year I can get rid of this name and I can be, Little Mike. And I started making up names for him, which he thought was funny.
He's still tall.
Yeah. We're talking about Michael Albright, by the way.
Yeah.
So anyway, Big D came out. Okay. Next time I see Terry, I'll go, hey, Big T.
And when you get up off the floor, I'll say, why did you do that?
Yeah. Kelly's dad, Dale, Joe's dad, Pat, and Kimmy's dad as well. So anyway, I thought that was very emotional. And I thought you don't want to win this. But Kelly in her confessionals, she was all about winning it. She wanted to spend the time with her dad.
Well, I think that for the rejuvenation, but at the same time, Kelly and Abby are pretty much on the bottom. They've been on the bottom with Sierra for a while now. So why not take a chance, especially since Kimmy just threw out the All Girl Alliance? She needs to solidify that, with Kimmy, and then hopefully grab one more person.
Yeah.
So absolutely, especially with Keith. I think Keith is very viable. I think that move to bring him and his wife was very,
like we know, Keith goes wherever he was, with whomever he spoke to last.
Right. So that's a great gesture.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't want Abby going back teed that she didn't get to spend time with her mom.
Yeah, really.
So it's unfortunate for Joe until Prope said, why don't you just pick out the people you don't want to have your family members? It'd be quicker.
Yeah, really.
Instead of taking 2/3 of the tribe.
Tasha actually said, and I don't know if this was because it happened this way, but she said she was actually kind of glad. First of all, that it was her cousin and not an immediate family member.
Yeah.
Because if they're too close, then it would take her out of the game. And then she said, I'm kind of glad that I didn't get picked because then, I'd just be thinking about the game anyway, and I wouldn't be spending any time with her, or I don't want to have my mind taken out of the game. And then she said in her confessional that was on Survivor CBS YouTube page, that Kelly may have made $1 million mistake because the three in the shelter got to spend 2 uninterrupted hours talking strategy and bonding. Is that your final 3?
No, not at all. No.
Okay.
I think at the same time, she may have been trying to buy jury favor, even though everybody knew Joe was going as soon as he lost, but still she gave Joe the one thing he wanted other than winning. She gave him the chance to bring his dad out into the game. Right. So that's big. She gave Keith something that made his whole season.
Right.
And she gave Kimmy a chance to see her dad. And Abby a chance to see her mom. So if any of those 4, that's something small, but it could come back to serve in her favor on jury.
Yeah.
But she also got to take 4 more people. She got to take the majority of the group.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, she's leaving 3 people back that she knows where they stand. And I think she knows they're not with her. Unless Spencer still is, because it seemed like they were connected in the beginning, but not so much since then.
Raymond on our chat group asked a really good question that I thought of earlier today as well. I'm trying not to just read the chat room, but I glanced over and saw it. Says, why did Tasha react so surprised when she saw her cousin while she knew who was coming? Everybody knows who their family visit will be. And that's what I thought. We had a couple of them that acted surprised of who it was.
I think sometimes they have more than one family member come out in case something happens or in case somebody gets sick from the long travel. and they want that. For some reason, I remember hearing that somebody had 2 people out, so I didn't know which one was coming out.
Oh.
So that's the only thing I can guess. I thought about that when I saw her face. My thing is, though, like Tina says, do you think the family members did not participate in the game because Val was pregnant? That could be it. But Jeremy's brother was also up for blood versus water. So Jeremy's brother could have been the other person that came. But I would have liked to have seen the family members participate, but in a way that the perfect challenge for me would have been a blindfold challenge. They have to talk to the family members are unblindfolded. They're not the ones playing the game. Let the survivors be blindfolded, and their family member has to walk them through a maze to get them out of the maze or something. What?
This happened last season. This very thing happened last season.
That was a practice. Mike and his mom got to practice in the maze. But I would like to see the family members participate, but not so much that they have to do the challenge, because they didn't sign up to play the challenge. They signed up to come out. So I would like to see some sort of joint thing where they do it together. I just like that. When there's the Caramoan, they did it. And I thought it was great that they can put it together.
Well, Kelly ends up winning, and I asked Kelly about her win today. I asked her about how did you come up with the name or with the word? Like, when did it hit? When did the light bulb go off? And her strategy was the same as mine and the same as Abby's. Abby's just didn't work. Yeah. But it was kind of like, what are some word endings, And so she came up with meant, and then she just went from there. And it it's like, oh, okay, nourishment. Right. And so that's how she did that. So when I saw Abby put shun at the bottom, I mean, that would have been an obvious one, right? Shun, now obviously redemption's not going to work because there's no E and there's no D, but still they kind of edited it like she was stupid, but it was a good strategy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I would have, my strategy would have been to put the whole word together on the table.
Yeah. I wouldn't have put it on the polls.
Yeah.
Until I knew the word. Yeah. So, but anyway, so Kelly wins, and she picks Kimmy first. And we know this for a couple of reasons. Number one, the way they were standing whenever they did a wide shot. But number two, on YouTube, Kimmy's confessional says, I'm so glad Kelly picked me first. Yeah. So I don't know why they did it out of order.
Maybe just to build anticipation to see if she was really going to go with the Women's Alliance or something.
Yeah. So she picked Kimmy first, then Keith, and then Abby, and then of course Joe. So
at least she was told to pick 3.
Right.
Steven was told to pick somebody to go with him.
Right.
Then he got to pick somebody else.
Right. All right. Back at camp, boy, Joe's dad got really serious with him.
Yeah. Well, I didn't catch it
till
the second time around is when he said, the fact that you brought me out here, just means how much our relationship means to you as much as it means to me. And what a great family moment for him to say that I didn't let people into my life. I was a loner, and you're like my best friend. I was waiting for him to say, you've grown into a great man, somebody that I want to be like. And that's kind of what he was saying. You're my hero. So Joe's speechless. It's like, Dad, we're on camera. I didn't know you were going to say that.
Yeah. Dad, you sure you want to say that? What? There's a cameraman right there. You see him there, right? So anyway.
Great moment.
Of course, the 3 are talking about Kelly and her picks. Of course. I mean, what do you do if you're the 3 that don't get picked? What's the first question you ask? So what'd you think about who she picked? I mean, I do the same thing.
And what else do you say when you're one of 3 and everybody else is away?
Yeah. Hey, let's do the final 3 together.
Hey, I'm okay with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah. It's you, me, and Batman.
And even
David's wearing a Batman hat. So
Spencer even says Joe's got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Go first. So they're good then with Joe's got to go.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, to me, the vote out was the most unsurprising thing. But after the immunity challenge is where it got good.
Right.
It's where the best part of the episode. It wasn't the vote out because everybody kind of saw that coming.
Right. What a great spot for Tasha, because she doesn't have to pick her alliance yet.
Right.
Because both alliances want Joe gone first.
Right.
So
Right. She's not right. She's not picking sides, but this is where I think it also works for Jeremy. There's always relationships that we don't see, like Scoopin and Lisa. We never saw that until towards the end, that they were so tight and were working together. So there's more that we're not seeing, but I don't know. I would think they keep saying, Cagayan and San Juan del Sur, and it's like they're trying to push people together like Tasha and Spencer. But I think Tasha and Jeremy are the tight duo now that Steven's gone, But since day one when they were on the same tribe, but with Kimmy possibly flipping, now I want to know how much Tasha said. That she say Kimmy approached me with this, and her and Kelly and Abby are very sincere about this. They want to flip to a women's alliance, so we got to get rid of Kimmy as well.
Yeah.
We don't need to take her because this is her resume. She's starting her move now, and this is the end game that I was talking about. I love this part of this episode. Kimmy's taking a stand, wants to start leading her own game. And meanwhile, Tasha sees both sides. You're right. Tasha's got a great ringside seat for both alliances. And it works out that they both are good with Joe going. So the next vote should be interesting. But it could also be interesting because if Keith wins the reward, you got to vote him out if he loses immunity because he's such a challenge threat.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Keith has been playing in the shadow of Joe the whole game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, Joe won it again. Yeah, and who was right next to him? Keith. Yeah. Joe wins again. And who was right next to him? Keith.
Yeah, Sierra says in her exit interview that Keith would be mowing through these challenges if it wasn't for Joe.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I was out on the island, Keith would be going pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, like you said, he'll follow the last person that talks to him. He'll go with whatever he thinks best, or he's going to win the challenge.
Yeah. So... All right, so that was back at camp. Now we're at day 32, so I think we might have skipped a day. So nothing happened on day 31.
There's no 31 days in Survivor anymore. So 30, 32.
Yeah. And that's because it's 13 backwards, and like hotels don't have a 13th floor.
Right.
So yeah, that's it. Day 32, immunity challenge, 2 immunity necklaces.
Do you like it or not like it?
Well, I think I like it for this challenge because of the strength factor, I guess.
Absolutely. Because there's no way, sorry to offend ladies, but there's no way you ladies are going to outlast Joe or Keith.
Well, they might outlast
or Spencer.
They probably outlast me, but
yeah, all 4 guys. Well, we don't know about Kelly because she won, so she probably dropped. But all 4 guys lasted longer than the women, so that would not have been fair. This was good, and I agree with Dalton. I finally got to read his recap, and he said when it's 4 women and 4 men, it's much more fair to each win an immunity versus 3 women and 5 men. That way, instead of having a 1 in 3 chance, for the women, the men have to do a 1 in 5 chance. So numerically, it's better. So I agree with Dalton on that because it was still even numbers. So everybody had a 1 in 25, 1 in 4 chance of winning.
Right.
You want to mute your camera for the moment? Or
well, they can only see me when I talk. So, which I'm trying to take off my hoodie. All right. So why don't you, let's see. Why don't you talk us through the challenge? And next time you see me, I'll be without my hoodie on.
So we get to the challenge, and it goes pretty quick, actually, until we get to Keith and Joe, who decide not to quit. And they go for an hour and 20 minutes. This is an amazing challenge. I loved both challenges. I like the first challenge too. I love the puzzle. I love the balance beat. And oops, that's a good look for you. But I like both challenges in this. But yeah, I like the pole challenge too. And I like that it was divided to a female winning and a male winning. I was actually not surprised, but glad that Kelly won, showing her challenge chops there. But
right.
I just thought it was going to be Keith to fall over. And somebody said just about fell over. And I think they even somebody said in the interview that he was pretty wiped out too. So,
yeah, there you go.
Now, so I'm at church tonight practicing for a big program for the kids we got this weekend. And one of my buddies that I talked to about Survivor, he said, so tell me, do you think it would have been smart for Joe to fake falling over if he saw his pole was slipping, if he saw it was going to fall? Do you think it would have served him better to fake getting sick or getting hurt? That way they might take sympathy or might not think him a threat anymore and save him in the game. If he saw he was going to lose, fake an injury or fake being sick.
Well, I think that was answered by the fact that him dropping it didn't help him a bit. So no, I don't think it would have helped him if he had been faking it, because he didn't fake it and it didn't curry any favor. So no, I don't think so.
I don't either, but he was wondering at the very split second if he saw it falling and just went down, trying to get
no. Actually, what happened was he looked down and started to faint before it fell. It fell because of his legs going out.
Oh, really? Because I didn't see the episode. Okay, that's good.
Are you getting smart with me?
No, tell me what I saw.
Well, I thought you said that the pole was already falling.
No. Jim was saying that if he saw that it was falling and then he threw himself down to pretend that he got hurt was the thing he was thinking. But no, it was definitely going down, and his eyes were rolling and his legs were gone. And
oh yeah,
he's lucky he didn't break something or fall in a worse way.
Yeah,
but he was fortunate to fall the way he did. But that was kind of scary. You know, have you ever blacked out like that?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I did it one time because I was sick and I didn't realize I was sick, and I was lifting like sandbags when I worked at a swimming pool store. And next thing you know, I was standing talking to somebody, and I turned and I kept turning towards the wall. Next thing I know, my head slammed into the wall.
Wow.
Because I fell into the wall, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I said, "What happened?" She goes, "You stood there for a few seconds and then you just went head first into the wall." Yeah. I said, "Wow."
I think the closest I ever came was when I had viral meningitis.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want him to put a going to the bathroom tube on me, so I tried to get up so I could go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I fell over, which led to the most embarrassing time of my life, which I won't talk about right now. So
but I liked so we'll move on. Now that we've talked about it and you're turning red over it.
It was horrible.
I love Dr. Joe's explanation though. He said, just like your legs gave out because it knew that your brain needed blood.
Oh my gosh. Oh, anyway, Dr. Joe said what?
He just said that your legs gave out because it knew that your head needed blood. So it gave out so your body would get prone.
That was kind of a weird explanation.
It was, but it was a basic and simple way of saying you just needed to lay down.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like a children's explanation. Your legs are that smart. They just went out.
Tina, you're awesome. You can say that anytime you want. I am thinner. I've lost 8 pounds.
As I say, it's a puffy sweatshirt.
All right. You know what, though? I can be 190 pounds and I'll still have a turkey chin, which annoys the heck out of me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, Spencer and Jeremy out. Keith and Joe, they went on forever. And after Joe is better, okay, Probst could hardly contain himself. Whenever Joe fell over, as soon as Probst realized that he wasn't dead, inside of his head, he was going, yes, great TV moment. Yes. He was so excited. He couldn't even hardly contain his excitement. This is what we were thinking about when we said Survivor Second Chance, that y'all would play till you fell over. This is amazing.
And you should keep people in the game that pass out from playing too hard.
Yes. Yeah,
Joe,
really.
I love the game and I just want to play it as hard as I can. And Joe, I think you just proved that.
Yes. Joe,
let's take a moment and talk about your greatness.
You really are, Joe, amazing. I'm surprised Probst didn't go, now, people, surely you won't vote out someone who collapsed at the immunity challenge.
So, but what we didn't see in the edit was before Joe got up, Probst looked at him and said, Joe, I know you didn't win, but just for old time's sake, fist pump.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
So Raymond writes, great season, but one of the two things I really don't like about the production, the immunity challenge are week after week a non-interactive game between the survivors, and this annoys me.
Oh, good point.
The other thing is that the two new idols were practically handed to Jeremy and Kelly. That I don't agree with. Okay, Jeremy had to find a clue first, but Kelly's clue was pure random luck. I'm glad that these two have them now, but that's not my point. So, and I read, I think it was in our Facebook group. I'm sorry, I don't know who wrote it, but they said that they wondering why the challenges are so balanced, stand still, not run into the woods, I guess, because next week's challenge is going to be running across boats, across the water. But the challenges that have been more about balance and endurance and not so much about physicality. And I'm thinking, well, you know what? These folks are lucky to be alive in the conditions that they're in right now. And I don't think they want to have any more Joe collapses, in challenges. And I think I don't necessarily think they're changing the challenges. I don't think that. We've talked about that. I think these challenges are set up because of how bad season 32 is going to be. I think season 32 is going to be horribly in the weather.
Yeah. Oh, weather-wise.
Oh, just weather and condition-wise. And I think this season they felt it coming and said, we got to do some things that we don't kill them every challenge,
Yeah.
I like the physical challenges too, but at the same time, these people are not eating. They're not sleeping. They're not comfortable at all.
Wait, they get coffee every morning. I don't know about this.
They're carrying mugs.
Okay.
But still.
No, Abby said to Kelly, do you want me to make you some coffee?
Is that
and
how
Kelly
she talks
said, and Kelly said, no, get the heck out of the thing. I need to look for the idol.
Okay, that's true. They do have a coffee.
Yeah, they got a coffee maker.
But
they got a nicer coffee.
Nutrition. It's caffeine, which makes them stay up late at night and talk about things.
Right. And to answer Jay Answer in our chat room, new Patreon level to hear the end of the story. Nope. It ain't happening. It's rated R, and it ain't going to be on this show. I don't even know if David knows the story. He probably does, but I ain't telling it. It involves a pretty nurse and my wife and embarrassment.
You're practically going there.
Okay, I'll shut up. It was so humiliating. Anyway, but hey, we could use some higher Patreon levels, so get on over there. All right, back at camp, Abby speaks David's language. So surely, David, Abby has gone up in your book of love because she gave soccer analogies.
Yeah, but I don't understand that analogy of Brazil and Germany, because in the World Cup, Germany scored about 16 goals on Brazil's 1, I think it was, and it was a destruction. And I guess she's saying Brazil is like Keith, the underdog. Brazil should never be considered underdog. They did have an awful game, but I don't know what she was trying to say.
I think she was okay. Are Brazil and Germany rivals?
Yes, they're two superpowers in the world.
Well, then that's what she was saying. She wasn't referring to a specific game.
No, she was saying that a 52-year-old man beat Joe Amazing is what I got from it. So she's saying, wow, Super Joe, Golden Boy, Joe Amazing got beat by a 52-year-old man. Well, it happens to be Keith, who's a former fireman, who's in shape and really good at challenges.
Yeah, I know. But anyway. All right, so then Kelly tells Abby about the all-girl thing, and this is another part of the edit where it made me feel like Kelly's not going to win. Because it was like they were two giddy little schoolgirls talking about the possibility at the end of the game. You know? And it's just, yeah.
Oh, yeah, things are swinging our way, right?
Yeah.
What I wrote here was, I loved... And I don't think Joe was milking it. I think Joe was still obviously not 100%, because you saw him at Tribal. He still didn't look 100%.
Right.
But did he ask Jeremy to go talk, or Jeremy asked Joe to go talk?
He's sitting there like almost dead. You want to go talk?
Jeremy's like, can you get up?
I don't know.
Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes and I'll get up.
Somebody pull my arm up.
Prope runs up the beach, helps him up, and takes him down. And it's funny because the argument that Joe makes, and most of the strategy we've heard from Joe is, I got to win challenges or I'm gone.
Right.
I mean, for the past couple of weeks, that's all we've heard from Joe. And here comes Joe with some strategy to save himself. You don't want to take a goat to the final. You want to get rid of her now. Jeremy's going, no, I want to take a goat to the final.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to take deserving people to the final. Sorry, Colby, but you messed up, brother. You don't want to take deserving people with you to the final.
That's right.
You play the game to win the game. Coach Edwards said you play to win the game. You win the game by putting yourself in the best position to win, and you put yourself in the best position to win by taking people that cannot win. That's right. Abby, and that's somebody else. Yeah. So, sorry, Joe. I understand you. I'm sorry you're feeling bad, but nope. Abby's got to stay. You got to go.
Yep.
I thought it was funny. He was reinforcing Jeremy's thoughts of maybe I should take Abby. You're right.
Yeah. All right. So the final three or not are sitting and talking it out.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
Well, Jeremy, Spencer, and Tasha are sitting there talking. And notice who's not there with them. Kimmy's not there with them. That's right. But okay, so let's just be realistic here. They won't say it on the show because they don't want to be seen as evil, mean people. Like Abby and Kelly are getting raked all over the coals on Twitter. Abby for smiling at some point and making fun of Joe's hair, and Kelly just for going against Joe, right? So, I mean, God forbid you say anything like, I can't let Kimmy go to the end because she's got these 2 kids and she needs the money. Or I can't let Jeremy go to the end because he's got a new baby and they need the money. God forbid you say anything like that. But that's the truth. You can't take Kimmy to the end with her story, you know, and you really don't need to take Jeremy to the end with his story. You don't want anybody sitting next to you that has a better story than you, that needs the money more than you.
You don't take somebody to the end that can take the money away from, that you want to give the money to. Right.
That's right.
You're saying. And we Raymond put a question up earlier that says, Tasha told Jeremy and Spencer about the All Women's Alliance. Might that be her cardinal sin that she'll have to pray after the show and ask for forgiveness? I don't think so.
No,
because she's informing them. I think she's in a good enough position that it's not going to hurt her that she told him that.
But you know what? Raymond brings up a good point. We haven't seen what CBS has set us up to see.
I think we just did. I think we saw the start of it.
What and what is that?
I think it's going to be a blindside of Kimmy. I think after Keith, if Spencer goes after that, I think that's when Tasha goes back. It would have to be. I don't know. It might have to be before then. But Jeremy's got his idol. The girls can vote out Jeremy, and then Tasha and Jeremy can vote out Kimmy. Because like you said, Kimmy's got the 2 boys.
Wait, you just said they could vote out Jeremy, and then Jeremy and Tasha
can tell the girls it's time to vote. She can make the deal. Let's vote out Spencer now. Next vote, we'll vote out Jeremy if he doesn't win. Maybe Jeremy wins, so they have to vote out Spencer. So the next vote, she tells Kelly and Abby and Kimmy to vote out Jeremy. Jeremy plays his idol the last possible time, forcing Kelly to play her idol the last possible time. Meanwhile, Jeremy and Tasha vote Kimmy. Kimmy's gone in 5th place. Please, Abby, Kelly, Tasha, and Jeremy.
Okay. Bye, Tina. Yes, we will talk about why Keith voted for Tasha.
Yes.
All right. So they are sitting and talking. Tasha says, I've been locked in since day one. And Tasha made a very good argument to Jeremy when Jeremy's talking about Joe. He goes, do you really think, let's see. Anyway.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah, Tasha's like, well, you couldn't beat him today. I couldn't beat him today. You know,
I loved her face. She was totally serious.
Yeah.
Did you beat him? No, you did not.
Yeah. All right. So tribal council. Apparently, Joe and Abby had some pretty intense tribal councils these last 2 tribals. Just a little birdie told me. So, but anyway, Joe calls out Abby for being the one everyone wants to sit with at the end.
So does Probst. Didn't he kind of point that out?
Kind of, yeah. Well, not until Joe said it. And then he was just relaying what Joe had said. Mm-hmm. But anyway, anything else about tribal council before they voted?
And then Abby comes back and calls Joe mold. That was about it.
Okay.
There's a mold in camp and it needs to be voted out.
Yeah. All right. So Joe got Kelly, Abby, Kimmy, Tasha, Spencer, and Jeremy's vote. Abby, of course, got Joe's vote. And Keith voted for Tasha because Keith didn't know what the heck was going on. And I like what Rion said, because he was out of the voting loop. They purposely didn't tell him because he was tight with Joe. What do you think? Think that's right?
I think it's 50-50. I think it's either that or he knew they were all voting Joe and he just didn't want to vote for his friend.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
And that is the decision that cost my friend Matt his place in the Durham Warrior Survival Challenge, which could cost Keith his place next week. Mm-hmm. Because he didn't want to vote for me because he didn't think I deserved to go, so he voted for Bob.
Yeah, and then that ended up making him not trust him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Anything else about the show before we get to our very thin listener feedback segment?
I didn't write down anything about tribal because I thought it was predictable, but I love the episode leading up to that. I love the challenges, love the family visit, love the talk, loved everything about this episode.
I have a surprise for everybody.
Uh-oh.
It involves a pair of scissors and a box that came in the mail today.
Oh, nice. Who's it from?
It's from Dan Foley.
Oh, you sure you want to open it on the air?
Well, I asked him today, is it safe to open on the air? And he said it was.
And you believed him?
I do. I do believe him. So here is the backstory of why I have a box from Dan Foley. It is not a box of cookies because I haven't won anything, and that would be a box from Shayna. But what it is David and I stayed at Dan's house with Troyzan after the Durham Warriors Survival Challenge, and I had brought a towel in case I got to shower while I was at Durham Warriors Survival Challenge, which only happened once. And believe me, I do not envy these Survivor players who don't get to take showers because I felt disgusting. Yes. All right, so I left my towel at their house. And so he insisted on using the United States Postal System, which is incredibly reliable, by the way. He said I had to say that. He said I had to say that.
It's not a system, it's a service.
He used a priority mailbox, which meant it got here within 2 to 3 days for a set price. All right, so I'm going to open it up because he said that he wrote on my towel. Of course, I asked him to write on it. It was my way of getting a signature, and I don't even get signatures from people.
So now you got to send that towel to every survivor and get them to sign your towel.
Yeah, I might.
Send it to me, and I'll take it back in June.
Yeah. I'm actually not a big signature person. I mean, we were riding in the car with Troyzan, and we didn't ask for his signature. And
I'm not either. I went to a Las Vegas video show and didn't get one autograph while I was there. There's probably about 100 people.
Here is the towel that I brought with me to Durham Warrior Survival Challenge.
Ooh, it's even green.
Taking it out. Empty box. And notice I used a towel that I had accidentally used bleach on at one time.
I thought you just marked it as yours.
Let's see what he wrote. I don't see anything yet. Nothing yet.
We can see.
Oh, there it is. Let's see. He wrote. Here it is. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure your mother is a wonderful person. What?
It's clean.
Survivor Talk with D&D Rocks. And then he signed it Dan Foley. And if you know Dan Foley, he signs his name backwards, which is really cool. So when I look at, anyway, I'm sure your mother was a wonderful person. I don't get that. To ask him what in the world he meant by that. I'm sure your mother was a wonderful person. Wait, do you already know what that's referring to?
Well, what does it mean about you if he has to say that I'm sure your mother
was nice. I'm a little slow on the take there. All right.
That means you just got blindsided, but it's okay.
That's okay. All right, let's do listeners' thoughts. First, we have Wendy Zell, the awesome and amazing Wendy Zell, left an audio feedback. And so here we go, Wendy Zell.
Hey, Dwayne and David and everybody. This is Wendy from South Dakota. My voice is a little bit better, but it's still not quite way. I know they had to get rid of Joe last night, but boy, I was sad to see him go. He was such a competitor. I have so much enjoyed Ponderosa this season. It's almost like a miniature show in itself. But the first couple of minutes of Joe's Ponderosa about broke my heart. Just to see someone that wanted it so bad. It was nice to see someone have such passion for the game. The one bad thing about the preview from last week is that I couldn't really even enjoy Kay Wentz' individual immunity win because I was like, what is the bad thing that's going to happen? Oh my gosh, so I was just waiting for the bad thing to happen, and I hardly paid attention to that. Kay Went had won individual immunity, which was fantastic for her. I feel like she's in a really great spot. I hope so anyway. The only thing that gives me pause is Tasha. I just don't really care for her as a player, and I have no idea what she's going to do. And I'm sure that the editors want us to feel that way because they don't want to spell it out for us. But I just don't know where she's going to go. I kind of thought she was on board with the whole girl alliance, but then she walked over and told Jeremy about the plan. So I just don't know. I don't trust her. Anyway, I think we should give it up for Keith Nail. What a beast to stand in there for as long as he did against Joe. I don't think people give Keith, I think I've said this before, but I don't think they give him enough credit. I think that they discount him because they think that he doesn't have strategy or, that he's not smart enough to think for himself, which I don't think is true. But he's still there, and a whole lot of other people aren't. And the guy has tenacity. I mean, to stand out there and hold that pool up for an hour and a half, that's amazing. I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this, but I wouldn't mind seeing Keith Nail win. That's just my opinion. Anyway, I missed sending in feedback because I've been sick. And the one thing I wanted to say was that I really loved the night challenge, just the visual of it, and that it was such a throwback to challenges that they used to do. I personally really enjoyed that one. And I hope they, sprinkle that in the seasons to come. So anyway, everybody take care.
Excellent.
Yeah, I like that because a real fan doing that folklore challenge would walk into the challenge and just get chills saying, wow, I really am on playing Survivor. I'm going through what they went through years ago, and it's just awesome.
Right.
I'm with you on the Tasha thing. She's in the catbird seat right now because she doesn't have to make a decision for either alliance until they split votes, until one group doesn't want to vote the way the other one does. And fortunately, Joe was a unanimous decision. I think Keith could be a unanimous decision, or Spencer for that matter, because as long as it's a guy, the girls are going to agree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As long as it's a guy going, girls are going to agree. And one of the girls
Right.
won't have to go until either Jeremy plays an idol or Tasha flips.
Right.
So I think she's in a good position.
Yeah. Now I know Dan is going to be all over me for this.
I can't wait.
For not recognizing.
I'm going to text him the timestamp.
Hey, you didn't remember either.
What
the reference is.
Yeah, I did. I just thought you were kidding that you were going to have to find out later what it meant.
Oh, I was just kidding.
You're always a kidder.
I'm such a kidder. Anyway, no, Dan will have a heyday giving me a hard time about this.
And I agree with Wendy that Keith does have a strategy. Abby Maria has a strategy. Even Kelly Wigglesworth had a strategy.
Yeah.
How they play it is how they play it. Everybody's got a strategy. Keith is I think Keith is more get on somebody else's boat and ride it until he has to fall off or jump on another boat. He's just not, he doesn't seem like an alpha strategist type player, I guess.
Right.
So I like Keith. He's pretty cool.
Tonight is apparently Survivor Talk with DD and R because Rion's got a lot of questions.
Oh.
At the end of the episode, Kelly was shown shaking her head at Joe's "good luck to everyone" remark. Dwayne, did you ask Kelly why she was shaking her head? And it might be more evidence that they're trying to villainize her character to be booted soon. Well, I do
absolutely.
I do agree with that latter part, and no, I did not ask her.
Yeah.
So.
All the smirks and the glances. I actually told her that today. I didn't like her edit. I thought she had a great episode in the game, but I thought her quick glance edits were not in a positive light.
Right.
And I think that's what led to her Twitter being blown up today and everything else.
Yeah. She and Dan could go have lunch.
Yeah.
All right. Next we have Miko. Go ahead, David.
I thought this was a good episode, even though the end result was exactly what everyone said it was going to be. By the time Abby opened her mouth after the challenge, I was convinced she was going home because it felt like perfect karmic retribution to have Joe the hero slay the Brazilian dragon, who was shown once again laughing at someone else when they are at their lowest. So thanks, editors, for managing to build a believable red herring into otherwise possibly extremely predictable episode. Oh, and Abby is awful, and I love it. She is amazing because she offers perfectly believable options for red herrings week in and week out by being so paranoid and just downright evil. I think she has a reason to be paranoid because her name comes up every other tribal council.
Yeah. I don't think she's evil at all. I think she has a personality that rubs people the wrong way, but I don't think she's like a purposefully evil, vindictive person at all.
So somebody that knows your pressure points and likes to twist them every once in a while.
Right. Like we talked about earlier in the season, she likes to put people at unease and she likes those awkward moments. And she also is she says what she thinks. The filter between here and here is different than yours. It's almost non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway. All right. It is time for
Pondering Ponderosa.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That was another point that Wendy made about Ponderosa.
Absolutely.
And if I can start, after watching the first few minutes, I said, man, we really missed that target last season when we went on and on about Rodney being the football captain and the athlete and Joe being on the team that got to the finals. We totally missed that boat as to which horse to ride. Rodney made it farther, but Joe is definitely the survivor beast. The guy that just so loves the game. And that's like I said earlier, I love watching Joe play. He's a super nice guy. He's great at challenges. He loves the game, but he's so, obvious. I don't know what he'd be able to do to get further in the game. But man, what a passionate guy. It was a good Ponderosa.
He was a little delusional when he first walked down the steps. And I'm talking specifically about him kind of tearing up and saying stuff like, you would think that me passing out would have curried some favor, that they would have some respect for that. And I thought, no, not really. That's a little, to me, that's a delusional thought. So,
yeah. Well, like when Probst asked at Tribal Council, he asked Kelly Wentworth, to make her seem more mean, I guess, that when Joe fell, how soon did you go back into survivor mode to say who's got to go? How does he get to stay or anything? And
yeah,
it's like, well, we never really got out of survivor mode. We cared about Joe, but we never got out of survivor mode.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, Joe still got to go.
And if anything, this further proves the point that Joe needs to go.
Oh, I love that confessional where she said, "I cannot compete with a guy that's willing to pass out for a challenge."
Right,
I cannot compete with that.
Yeah. So, but Joe had a nice welcome at Ponderosa. I think Savage could learn a little thing from Joe about not holding grudges and being bitter,
about not wearing hats.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but then, man, the last half, him walking around with the GoPro, he got some pretty good shots, having some good times with the GoPro, and so he had a good.
So the van pulls up. Hey guys, we got to go to Tribal. No, we're good. We're good. We're playing frisbee.
We're having too much fun.
I know. Joe's got the GoPro. We're good.
Yeah.
Just send them on in, whoever's coming.
Joe's that guy at the beach, though, that all the women are like, stop walking behind me with your camera. Stop it. I know what you're doing. But anyway. So, again, Ponderosa was good. It was a lot of Joe. He lost what? Not 22 pounds.
Yeah.
He's in a good place. He's doing his artwork and doing his yoga, and they seem to be having a good time there at the old Ponderosa.
Yeah, it was a contrast, like you said, when Fishback left. I think his body was glad that he left, even though his mind and his heart weren't. Right. Whereas with Joe, it was like you said. I think that was still him being affected by his physical situation, where he felt like, I just don't understand why they wouldn't give me that break. But 24 hours later, a few hours later, he's eating and talking about his dad, and just I think the reception was probably the best medicine he could have got walking into Ponderosa.
Right. All right. So Cass wants us to guess who would be voting for whom.
Oh, yeah.
So where are we on that?
Well, that's true with Joe there. That means Wigglesworth has to go in another direction. I think, like Andy said, I'm going to steal from Andy and say that Wigglesworth would probably still vote Kimmy, partly because of their relationship and because of her situation with her sons. I think she'd probably vote Kimmy. I think Jeremy. I think Savage would still vote Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fishback would definitely vote Jeremy over Spencer. I don't think Fishback would vote for any of the women, not even Tasha. Cass.
Don't be influenced by the edit.
No. I'm thinking Cass would vote for the gameplay. She's watching the jury and she wants to see what happens at Tribal Council. And like I said, I think Jeremy's still going to do something big with his idol. But even till then, I think she knows who's running the game, and it's Jeremy. I think she would.
Oh,
she would vote.
You're
Jeremy.
Switching this week. Okay.
No, I think I said Jeremy for her last week. What did I say for her last week?
I thought you said Kelly, but
I did the first week. I was leaning that way because she came from that group. But even Andy said last week that Cass appreciates good Survivor play. So I think Sierra would still vote Kelly at this point. Who else is there? And Joe. Who's Joe going to vote for? Joe. Everybody voted for Joe except for Keith.
But I don't think he's going to vote for Keith.
I don't think he'd vote for. I think he'd also vote for Jeremy.
Yeah, probably so. All right. Well, where are we now then? Let's see. Oh, we're done with Pondering Ponderosa.
Yes, because the chat room is ready. They are saying they're ready to play along to get you any points possible.
Uh-huh.
You write them. We read them. iTunes Reviews.
Ladies and gentlemen, iTunes Reviews. It is what gets us seen on iTunes. The more reviews we get, the more subscribers we get, the more our podcast is shown and is put in the hot lists, etc. So that is unfortunate that this week we do not have any new iTunes reviews. For some reason, we were at 99 and now we're at 97. Well, I think what happened was two people that, like, if you stop your iTunes username or whatever, then your review goes away. Because I was looking, I was hoping that enough people had clicked on report a concern on some of those 1-star ones that are ridiculous and said, I don't agree with this. Because if enough people do that, then they'll take it down. But that's not what happened. They were still there. But anyway, so leave us an iTunes review, subscribe to us, and then we will read your title on the air.
You write them. We read them. iTunes Reviews.
It is time for Miko's Challenge.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is not a close race, but it is a race. Miko's Challenge. David is ahead by 8 points.
It's only 8, and then we're going to have weeks come up where he throws more quotes, and he's going to have those more multiple point questions.
But based on your first quote, I have a feeling we're back to the old David gets all the easy ones, and Dwayne gets all the ridiculous ones.
Yeah, your first 3 aren't pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your first, I tell you what, why don't you read mine first so we can contrast the difficult level with how easy yours are.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
No, that was a quote. Ready? No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not.
All right.
All right. We each have 6 quotes this week. Go ahead.
It's time for him to go.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's the quote.
And it's not about who, it's about who said it.
I know. Kimmy said that.
No, Abby said it.
Okay.
Do I have a quote?
Yeah, I was going for redemption.
Oh gosh, that sounds like
really? Really? You're going to act like this is a difficult one?
I'm going to go for Abby.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Gosh.
Number 2.
Really? Like, that quote stood out. And they made a special point to show us that quote.
If you thought number 1 was bad, wait till you hear number 2.
Nice.
Quote number 2. They don't need to know.
Oh, that's Jeremy
Way to go.
talking about his baby boy.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I'm going to be a daddy. Yes, you are. And it's cool. I have 3 boys. Quote number 2. By the way, Jeremy, you were going to be a daddy even if it was a girl. Quote number 2. It's a stalemate. It's a stalemate.
Oh, that must have been at the challenge.
It is time for
Was it Kimmy? Because I don't think Kelly said much. Kelly was just making all the faces.
I'm sorry, David. It was Tasha.
Was it? Oh,
Yes.
wow.
She was trying to convince Jeremy to vote Joe, and Jeremy was saying he wanted to vote Abby. And she goes, it's a stalemate.
Oh, I was thinking it was at the challenge between Joe and Keith. Cool.
I know. I'm so glad you
Well.
were.
Number 3. You
Yes,
should get-
Susan, we can both see the chat this time.
Oh, I'm not even looking at the chat. I'm sorry. To give you help. I guess they wanted to help you with that first one since they probably all knew it.
All right. Quote number 3 for me. Oh, by the way, we're tied 1 apiece.
Quote number 3 is, I'm terrified.
Oh, now see, that would have been Spencer last week. Oh, it's Spencer this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same Spencer.
Yeah. Woohoo! There's a debate going on in the chat room of whether or not you and I can both see the chat room.
Oh, okay.
This is the first. This is the first week I've ever had the chat room open.
Yeah, I always have it open
Yeah.
because I care. Number 3.
And Rion says, Dwayne, every week you complain that you get the harder quotes. I believe sometimes you do. Why don't you two just swap questions? Because then I couldn't complain. And that's why y'all like the Miko's challenge so much.
What's the fun of Dwayne if he's not complaining?
Exactly. All right. Quote number 3. For the first time, I made a move. And no, this is not you in 9th grade.
That's right. Within the episode.
Susan.
That was Spencer.
What? How do you know that?
Because this was the first big thing he claimed.
Oh, whatever.
Which, like you said last week.
Whatever.
Kelly, but they gave it to Spencer.
Okay. So you have 2 points. Do I have 2?
Yes. You got Jeremy and Spencer right now. So now we're on quote number 4.
Oh, wait. Susan, because I can see, is not going to post the answers.
Oh.
How sweet is that? Not.
He thought you were going to help him with the answers.
Yes.
That's kind of what the chat room does because poor Dwayne. Yes. Then okay. Here's the
I
quote.
would help Dwayne. That's the whole point, Susan.
Yes.
Of course, you're probably, a minute behind, so it's not going to help anyway.
That's okay. She's answering.
All right.
Quote number 4.
Quote number 4.
You can't have blinders on.
You can't have blinders on.
Yes. Do you want to give the? Now Rihanna is going to start a private chat where they can.
Oh,
where
really?
We can't see him at all.
Thanks a lot. Okay. What was that again?
You can't have blinders on.
You can't have. I'm really not liking this. I'm beginning to get a reputation for being the dumb one. My predictions are all wrong, and I always lose the Miko's challenge. This is not good for our show.
But you know what is good? That you're consistent.
Oh, thank you, David.
You're reliable.
If you're going to be bad, you might as well be consistently bad. I just have a horrible memory.
And you're stalling for them to give the answer. And
I am, but it's
done it
not
yet.
working. No one's writing the answer down. All right, tell me the quote one more time. Oh, Raymond, slap you upside the head. Go ahead.
You can't have blinders on.
You can't have blinders on. That is Tasha.
I'm sorry, it's Jeremy.
I hate this game. All right. What quote are we on?
4.
What is that? I'm sorry. What is that powwow about?
That was Kelly talking about.
Gosh.
Did you know that one?
No, you just made me so mad.
Oh, well, you ought to pay attention to the show.
I do pay attention to the show. I just don't remember stupid Dave. Okay,
And don't think that I don't do this when we're together in person, because I do it when we're in person.
Oh, he
too.
does. And we'll be talking about a movie, and he won't say Iron Man did this. He'll name the guy that played it, or some obscure character on the show. Like, he won't go the guy guarding the prison door. He'll name the guy's actual name and think I'm supposed to know who it is.
And then I'll talk about the movie that I saw him in where I liked him, and that completely takes Dwayne out of the movie we're watching.
Oh, gosh.
It's my own game, and it's so fun. I always win.
Oh, man. You have the memory of an elephant.
And you're not dumb, according to Susan. I just have a better memory.
You are so much like an elephant.
That joke's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it did. All right, go ahead. Number 5.
Oh, you're right. I do like peanuts. That's true. Salted in the shell, please. Number 5. I need to be in control of my destiny.
I hate this game.
Really? You don't know that one?
Wait, hold on.
We talked about it.
To be in control of. Oh, that's Kimmy. Kimmy, chameleon.
Who did she say it to?
She said it to. It was a confessional.
To the cameraman. Very good.
You come and go. You come and go. Kimmy, chameleon. Quote number 5. There's just no safety on Survivor.
Is that Joe?
Gosh, I thought if I sang it, it would make it harder for you.
No.
Yes, it's Joe, you butthead.
Well, when I watched the second time, I didn't even watch the challenges. I just watched the scenes. They're really good. Can we stop now? There's one more.
Oh, there's one more.
And then we get to talk about the fantasy challenge. Quote number 6. We are going to be making $1 million decision.
Tasha.
Didn't she say that last week too?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said it again this week.
She
keeps saying that.
She's a little too focused on the money.
Yeah.
She needs to be more focused on her game and not so much on the money.
See, and that's a good point. And that might be the anti-winning comment, because Kelly Wentworth said it at the beginning at $1 million. Now Tasha's saying it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see. I'm not sure Tasha can win.
I don't think Tasha's
really
going to win.
Yeah.
I really don't think.
Who's your pick to win?
I don't have a pick to win.
Oh, I thought your first draft pick was your pick to win.
Oh, I don't remember who that was. No, that wasn't our pick to win. That was our pick to get the most points.
Oh.
Completely different.
Well, Andy will know because you put it on Andy's challenge.
Wow, Raymond. Thank you. Golly. Raymond wrote, I wouldn't turn my chair if you were on The Voice and if I was in the jury. Ha ha. Wow. Raymond, you are not nice. All right, Raymond, go to my YouTube page where all these videos are and watch the video of me singing the song I wrote. It's called Will You Surrender? I'm wearing a plaid shirt. And then if you still say that, then okay, you're entitled to your opinion.
That was good.
All right, quote number 6. David, are you paying attention? Quote number 6.
Hit me.
I don't come out here to be somebody's pawn. Unquote.
That was in the same framed segment of when Kimmy said the other line that you said a minute
didn't
ago.
come out here to be somebody's pawn.
She does not have a southern accent, but that was Kimmy.
Yes.
Sorry to say.
That was Kimmy. Yeah, Raymond, too late now, buddy. All right. Wow, you got all but one, and I did horribly.
I think you missed all but one, or you get 2. Okay.
Yeah. I'm so glad that the favorite part of Susan, the favorite part of our podcast for Susan is unfortunately the Miko's challenge.
All right, so let's go to the other challenge, unless the chat room's got more comments about your singing. I'd be more willing to talk about that.
What is Rion talking about? Yeah, it's a great segment, and I like how they got the name Pondering Ponderosa before beep. guys who thought of the name. Guys who thought of the name. I thought of the name.
Yeah.
I thought of the name. All right. Does someone else talk about Ponderosa and call it that?
Not that I know. I don't listen to anybody else, so I'm not sure.
Huh. Interesting. I wonder if people accuse that person of copying everything we do. like we get accused of doing sometimes. That's like saying you're copying that person who drives that car because you're also driving a car.
Or you're copying that TV show because you're making food and they make food.
Yeah, and they make food, so you're obviously copying them. You have two guys on your show, so you're obviously copying that other podcast that has two guys on it. Yeah, you're right.
This will get us a review.
You're right. We copy everything. All right. All right. Let's see. Are we done?
Nope. D&D.
Oh, the Survivor Challenge. Yes. Tell us about this, David.
This week was pretty awesome.
I mean, how cool is it?
The remaining nerd herders needed that 20-point buffer from last week so bad because Kelly did carry 20 points for us and Spencer carried 17. But then we go to the Cool Cats. And the bottom player actually was Tasha with only 7. And then above Tasha was Kimmy at 8. Keith did bring in 10 points. Jeremy got you 12 points. And your big scorer this week, unfortunately, is your leaving scorer. Joe brought you 24 points. So the Cool Cats for a total this week brought in 56 points. And the Nerd Herd brought in a total of 37 points. So our score, overall scores, after 12 episodes of Survivor.
This is crazy, y'all.
Cool Cats, 833 points.
That would be me. 833 points. Me and Steve Helling.
And Andy Baker and I, as the Nerd Herd, have 834 points.
Wow.
I needed that buffer so bad from last week.
Yep.
So now you are down to 5. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed Abby Maria. She had 5 points. She was your bottom scorer.
Yeah.
So you still have 5, though, and I'm down to 2.
You know, I bet there is no other team out there or teams that are playing against each other that are this close. I mean, we're within 1 point. They'd have to be tied.
Yeah, overall, Kelly is still the highest pick with 179 points. And then you got Jeremy and Joe are tied at 160. Of course, Jeremy's going to keep going. And then
where's Tasha at? Our
Tasha overall is at 103. So she's broke 100. But her average isn't that great. She had 122-point episode. The rest have been 13, 14 or below.
Yeah.
But Jeremy is a great pick. Spencer's a great pick. And Kelly's a great pick. Fishback was a good pick, too. He had ended up with 141 points. Goodness gracious. You've only got 3 people over 100. I've got 4, but only 2 of them are left.
Right. Hold on. I'm typing something to.
That's okay. But that's it. So Dwayne's got and Steve have 833. Me and Andy have 834 with only 2 episodes left. Yeah. Next week and then the finale.
Yeah. Wow.
I know, right?
Golly.
I know. It's almost
all
over.
right. Zach told me he can't do the by the way, shout out to Shayna for counting all those points. And I think I'm actually catching up to you on the Facebook version of the game where we have different teams.
But you are rapidly catching up. You're jumping like 3 places a week, and I'm dropping a place a week.
Yeah.
Because you've got more, you still got more players than I do.
Yeah.
But we both lost Joe, I'm sure.
Yeah. Those in the chat room, what I wrote out dent, that was supposed to be wouldn't. It wouldn't have been, is what I meant to write there. All right. All right.
Yeah. David will always agree for the chat room to help Dwayne. We had talked about that weeks ago, so I guess Susan didn't know about that.
Yeah, because I'm like that little stepchild of yours that or whatever people. That's horrible. I shouldn't have said that.
The family.
Yeah, I'm the whatever. I'm the guy in the corner that needs help.
Picking on step kids now. Here's another review. There's going to be 100. We're going to have 100 now. I'm
the Donald Trump of podcasting. Stick my foot in my mouth. Oh, man. Okay, what I was going to tell you was actually, we'll talk about movie talk after I close out the show.
Okay.
What the heck is that? David, what was that?
What? I said, okay.
No, I heard a.
That was not me. Oh, it might have been my phone.
Oh, okay. Hey, whether you watch, listen, thank you for tuning in and sharing our show with others. A huge thank you to our D&D patrons who support us monthly, literally for as little as the price of one drink a month, whatever it is you like to drink. You could become a D&D patron and help support the show. It really is awesome. Simply click the Patreon logo on our website. Also, you help finance the D&D shows when you buy your Christmas presents using our Amazon links on our website and our Facebook group. It's easy. It doesn't cost you anything. Look, I'm serious. If you're buying a $2 cable, use our link, stwdd.com/Amazon to get to Amazon, because the number of referrals we have also increases the percentage. And of course, you know, I'm an affiliate with Amazon, so that helps support the show as well. Head on over to our website, stwdd.com. We have 4 bloggers blogging, although Colton didn't do his this week, which is odd because, I mean, thousands of people went and read his blog last week. So I'll be tweeting him tonight and going, hey, let's get those things done. Anyway, links to Facebook, Twitter, and more. And that's all I got. So, David, I was talking to my brother about doing a Christmas
Hold on.
podcast.
I got one more thing. Okay. Josh asked on our Facebook group. He asked us both. I'm curious to know, in your opinions, where does this season rank in terms of the best seasons of Survivor? For me, this is easily a top 3 season. The gameplay this season has been absolutely phenomenal, and there hasn't been any dud episodes. So just thinking generic, or as much as you can about, since you probably didn't really realize we're in 31 seasons. But anyway, just think overall.
I don't know.
Where does this rank for you? Do you have favorite seasons?
Not really, because I forget things.
Yeah.
I don't remember the past seasons too much unless I go back and watch them. See, okay, look, I can literally read a book, read another book, and go back to like I've read The Shining 3 times. I still could not tell you how it ends. I'm serious. I don't remember the specifics of how it ended.
Isn't that cognitive recognition or something like that?
I don't know, but I don't remember these things. Every time I watch Titanic, I'm always surprised at the end. The ship sinks. And every time I watch Star Wars, I'm like, what? Is he really his father or not?
Oh, spoiler alert. But anyway.
I said, is he or not? I didn't say if he was.
But you just brought up it's only 50 years old, but still.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever watch, okay. Oh, I know somebody who's never watched Star Wars.
All right, let's talk about that in a second. I'll answer Josh's question.
That's like never having eaten at McDonald's. Okay, go ahead.
It's hard for me because I really appreciate new player seasons. I really appreciate people that play for the first time and do well. However, on an entertainment basis and on a strategy basis and just a dramatic basis, this is definitely a top 10. It could be a top 5. I didn't get a chance to go through some past seasons this week, but it could be a top 5, top 2 or 3. I'm not sure. But I want to answer this question in more detail. I'll do it next week, and maybe you can look back too. But yeah, it's definitely a top 10, maybe a top 5 season. You won't look back. I
don't like answering these kinds of questions.
I know.
I'm really enjoying the season. How's that?
Absolutely. But like Probe says, this is what we expect from a returning season. We expect this intense gameplay.
Right. I'm a little nervous about next season. Yeah. And by the way, first, before I say this, I want to thank Raymond. This is pretty awesome. This is a pretty awesome testament to us or to the show. And I guess, thanks guys for another very entertaining podcast. It was worth me waking up at 4 a.m. What the heck? Somebody woke up at 4 a.m. to watch our show.
Awesome.
That's pretty sweet.
That's all right. Earlier than me. I'm 4:50 every morning.
So, well, crud. Now I forgot what I was going to tell you.
Star Wars. You know somebody hadn't seen it?
Yeah, I know. That was
so 5 minutes ago.
I don't remember what I was going to tell you.
Were you talking movie talk after this?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you that. Zach can't do a Christmas podcast, movie podcast, so we probably won't do one.
Yeah, I saw the text.
Good night, Susan. Good night, Susan. Oh, it's time to go.
You got a date. She said see you next week.
Boom. All right. Connie, I have a date next week. All right, man. I don't have anything else about the show. Do you?
Loved it. We have yet to have a dead episode, and I don't think we're going to have one.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Today I was sitting watching TV. I was watching YouTube videos because I took a vacation day today.
Mhm.
And I had watched Survivor already, and I got to thinking, as soon as this is over, they're going to announce the new tribe, and we have to go through all the figuring out who they are, learning their names and stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
That's draining.
It probably won't be till January.
Really? You think they'll give me a couple of weeks of not having to think about it?
Well, we're going to have a couple weeks of postseason podcasts. We've got a couple of interviews to do.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hey everybody, thank you.
Don't get too excited.
No, I enjoy podcasts.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. We wouldn't do it if we didn't enjoy it.
That's right.
So
we're certainly not doing it for the money.
bye everybody. It's been great. See ya.